Tottenham Hotspur remain fifth in the Premier League table after getting heavily beaten by Fulham at Craven Cottage on Saturday. Fulham 3, Spurs 0.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs winning. Press conferences, covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Spurs in the Media, where I'll be going through all of today's newspapers, looking at all of the articles from today's national press, also looking at the player ratings as well from the game at Fulham 3, Spurs 0 in the Premier League on Saturday, the 16th of March. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you are listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's get straight into it. Ange Postecoglou made one change. Radu Dragushin coming in for the injured Mickey van der Ven. Of course, last weekend, Spurs beat Aston Villa 4-0 at Villa Park. A lot of Spurs fans did not expect this scoreline or indeed this performance away at Craven Cottage. Fulham 3, Spurs 0. Let's start with a report from the Mail on Sunday today. And it says here, fabulous Fulham stun dismal Spurs. It then goes on to say it was impossible to tell which of these London clubs has Champions League aspirations and which one sits in mid-table with little tangible to play for. In the report from the Mail on Sunday today, it states, a week on from thumping Aston Villa 4-0, this was a sorry Tottenham performance, arguably their worst of the season. No wonder Ange Postecoglou looked even sterner than usual on the sideline. With his side already 3-0 down, he made a triple change midway through the second half, but the improvement was slight rather than game-changing. The player ratings today from the Mail on Sunday, they have given Vicario a 6.5, Pedro Porro a 5, Dragushin a 6, Romero a 6.5, Udogie a 6, Sarr a 7, sub Timo Werner a 6, Basuma a 5, sub Højbjerg a 6, Maddison a 5, sub Bentancur a 6, Kulusevski a 6, Heung-min Son a 5.5, Brennan Johnson a 5.5. Now for a report from the Sunday Times, and it says here, unacceptable Spurs lucky to concede 3. Just as Tottenham Hotspur look to have fourth place firmly in their grasp, their worst performance of the season tossed it up in the air again. Fulham were hungrier, sharper and better all over the pitch at Craven Cottage, and perhaps the most harrowing part of this thrashing for Spurs was that their opponents could have won by more. Tottenham had chances, yes, with Timo Werner somehow missing an open goal from a yard. Now, talking straight after the game, Heung-min Son told the Sunday Times, this is 2 steps backwards. We now need to step forward. It is unacceptable, including me. Now, the player ratings from the Sunday Times today, they have given goalkeeper Vicario a 5 out of 10, Pedro Porro a 6, Romero a 5, Dragushin a 6, Udogie a 4, Pape Matar Sarr a 4, sub Timo Werner a 5, Basuma a 4, sub Pierre-Emile Højbjerg a 6, Maddison a 5, Bentancur sub a 6, Dejan Kulusevski a 5, Heung-min Son a 5, Brennan Johnson a 5. Now for a report from the Sunday Mirror, and it says here, red hot rod puts Ange flops to the sword. Ange Postecoglou cut a bemused and baffled figure as Tottenham's Champions League dreams suffered a devastating blow. Just when the North Londoners seemingly had fourth place within their hands, they chucked it away in astonishingly inept fashion. Now, the match stats, shots on target, Fulham had 7 to Tottenham's 5. Shots off target, Fulham had 3 to Tottenham's 8. Block shots, Fulham 6 to Tottenham's 1. Corners, Fulham had 4 to Spurs 5. Fouls, Fulham 9, Spurs 10. Offsides, Fulham 2, Spurs 4. Passing success, Fulham 76% to Tottenham's 84%. Tackles, Fulham 20, Spurs 12. Tackles 1, Fulham 45% to Tottenham's 75%, and possession overall, Fulham 43% to Tottenham's 57%. Yellow cards, Fulham received 2, Spurs 3. After the game, Ange Postecoglou said, "Fourth is not our goal. It never has been my aim. Success is built on more tangible stuff. If we finish fifth and have a team I feel can challenge next year, I won't be disappointed." Thrilled Fulham boss Marco Silva said after the game, "This was our best game this season." Now, a couple of stats published by the Sunday Mirror today. Fulham had lost 14 of their previous 16 Premier League games against Tottenham, and this was their first win since 2013. Fulham have now won their last 3 Premier League home London derbies after previous wins over West Ham and Arsenal. Now, the player ratings from the Sunday Mirror today, they have given Vicario a 6, Pedro Porro and Dragushin 5s, Romero and Udogi and Sarr all 6 out of 10s, Basuma a 5, Maddison a 5, Kulusevski a 5, Son and Johnson both with 5s, subs, Werner 6, Højbjerg a 5, Bentancur a 5, Richarlison a 6, Lo Celso a 5. Now for a report from the Sun newspaper, and on the front of their goal supplement, Heung drawn and slaughtered, Son rages at limp Spurs. It then states here, furious Son blasted himself and his fellow Tottenham Hotspur flops. Fuming, everybody has to look in the mirror and say, it's my fault. An interesting stat published by the Sun newspaper today. Spurs failed to score in a Premier League game for the first time under Ange Postecoglou. The last time they failed to register a Premier League goal was a 1-0 defeat at Wolves back in March 2023. Now for a report from the Sunday Telegraph, and it states here, in recent weeks, Ange Postecoglou has been unwilling to engage with the idea that Tottenham Hotspur are simply in a battle for Champions League places. Instead, he has dreamed a little bit bigger. "I don't see the sense in trying to aim for something other than number one," he said this month. Also in this report from the Sunday Telegraph, it states Spurs fans no doubt will understand their argument, but there is a problem here, which is the thought of Spurs being in the title race is no longer based on reality. It may not be the truth that Postecoglou wishes to confront, but it is the truth nevertheless that his players are indeed locked in a tussle for the Champions League places rather than anything more. Now that's all of today's newspapers and player ratings. Now let's hear from Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou. This is what he had to say in his post-match press conference.
Where did he go wrong? Look, I think first half was even enough. I thought we had enough of the play, we had enough of the chances. Conceded a bad goal, but there was nothing there that I thought we couldn't overcome. But second half, after we conceded the second one, just didn't really reach the levels of intensity and sort of tempo we've had all year. And then it was very, very hard for us to get any sort of control or traction in the game. It seemed like we were chasing it the whole time, and disappointing night for us.
Why do you think they weren't able to harness the momentum of last week?
I don't think that. Again, I don't buy into that sort of stuff. Every game is a different challenge. It's not like you start this game a goal up just because you won last week. I think if you fall into that trap of thinking that what you did last week is going to help you this week, it just doesn't work that way. I just thought, and to be fair to the players, it's the first time this year where I felt, especially in the second half, we just, we're in the position we are because every week we've been really, really competitive in every aspect of the game, and even in our losses, I've always felt like, we hit certain markers in terms of, like I said, our endeavour and competitiveness, and I thought it was missing today in the second half, and that was disappointing.
And just the first game in the Premier League that your team hasn't scored, what do you think that was?
Look, we had enough chances to score, so I don't think that's the issue. But I don't think that's the issue for us. It wasn't about scoring. We could have scored today. It's really meaningless. It's more about, like I said, the other things that are really important. They have been important for us all year, because irrespective of our performance fluctuation, our competitive levels, and our ability to stay in games and be really strong in our conviction has been there all the time. And this was the first game probably, like I said, in the second half where I just felt it wasn't there today, and that was a disappointing thing for us in that, if we don't hit those levels, it's then very hard for us to do all the other things we've been good at. I don't think it's a game to talk about sort of individuals, because I think, whether it's Radu's first game or Sonny's 500, it doesn't really matter. What matters is, like I said, as a group, we just didn't reach the levels that we need to compete. So, for us, there's obviously a lesson in that. It's part of our growth. You've got to feel all these things I keep saying are kind of, they're not firsts, but things you have to go through if you want to get growth, and it's how you react to them, and that's our challenge now.
Do you have a sense of why, I know it's so soon in the game, but why maybe there wasn't the intensity there that you said it's normally in the season?
It's, like I said, it's not something that's been there before, so you kind of need to just sit back and analyse it. I'm sure we'll get plenty of evidence as to why, and plenty of things to kind of look at. But ultimately, like I said, whatever recourse we have now is too late for today's game.
And what's the message to the players after a game like that?
No different to any other game. It's about, like I said, for us, it's about continual growth, continual development, and that's never just a straight line. You're going to cop hits along the way, and we've copped one today, and we've just got to make sure that we bounce back stronger than ever.
Is it worrying?
What's that?
Is it worrying today that you didn't hit those levels you have been and you dropped off?
Well, no, it's not worrying, it's disappointing. As I said, it'd be worrying if it was the fifth game in a row we did that. So it's disappointing, and we need to analyse it. So that's where, that's where we're at. All these things you've got to try and treat in isolation to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of, one way or another, whether that's positive or negative, going down rabbit holes that don't exist.
Do you think this is a good time to have the break now, given this result? Would you rather play straight away, or would you be glad to have time off?
No. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. It's an international break. We know that whether you win or lose, it's an international break. There's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of, you take it. The players will go away now, focus on the national teams. We'll get them back sort of a few days before the next game, and when we get them back, we'll kind of put to bed this analysis and then look forward from there.
And in the respect of what the old Spurs might have been accused of, i.e. something in their grasp of it, fourth place, the opportunity to go fourth, haven't taken it, is that an unfair accusation to level at your team?
No, you can level any accusation you want. I mean, I get it, and I'm happy for people to run that sort of commentary, because it just doesn't, it's meaningless to me. I don't see fourth as a prize. This club's finished fourth before, it's finished second before. So you can throw all sorts of things at it. It's reached the Champions League final. You can throw all sorts of things at it, but this club has achieved things. So fourth is not my end goal. I don't want to finish fourth if we haven't grown as a team and developed as a team. And no one believes me, that's fine, because I think they, part of the narrative is to try and push you into these kind of positions where you think that fourth is some kind of achievement that gives you something for next year. It doesn't give you anything unless, fourth would be great if I feel like we're growing as a team and we've created something that's going to bring us success next year. But fourth is not our goal. It hasn't been. It's not my goal. It certainly isn't my goal. But, I get it from the outside, and particularly in the Premier League, that it seems like, people push you into that position where you need to succeed or fail just on an outcome. I just don't think that's how you get success. Success is built on, I think, more tangible stuff. If we finish fifth, and I think we've got a team to challenge next year, I won't be disappointed.
Okay. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on you Spurs.